Hi, I'm Lee Partridge and welcome back to Col U TV. It's the Midweek show, and on the show this week we'll have a feature interview with Karen Bennett from the Academy, the launch of the Goal of the Month for November, and a look at the upcoming fixtures for the Academy. But before all of that, not the result any of us were hoping and looking for last night. We are now out of the Bristol Street Motors Trophy. West Ham were the winners last night. Here's the goals with the thoughts of Matt J to follow.
Bittersweet evening for you, back in the side, but disappointing result.
Yes, disappointing. Really disappointed with the result. I actually felt like we did pretty well in the first half. We created some sort of half chances. Maybe should have had a penalty. I don't think the referee was quite on our side this evening. But poor goal. I think there was very little in the first half, and then the second half was nowhere near good enough. Goals that shouldn't have been goals, and probably showed them a little bit too much respect, and we couldn't quite figure it out quick enough.
Yeah, and they were always going to be a side that wanted the lion's share of possession and wanted to move you around and everything, but the lads disappointed with how close we got to West Ham players at times.
Yeah, I think we did. I think it's really easy to sort of look at the result and go that it was a bad performance. I think it was, but there were some good bits in there. And I think certainly in the first half we came in with our heads down and we probably didn't need to so much. We actually did pretty well. Like, we got to hold our hands up and say they're a good side. They're a team that play week in week out with the same players in a very good league. And but look, I think it hurts me to say that we don't really want to be beaten by those under 21 sides, and not something that I've been so accustomed to over the years. And obviously playing against a couple this year and been disappointed, but. Yeah, look, we knew that they'd have a lot of the ball, and we probably weren't quite tidy enough and clean enough in our work when we did win it back, and that was really where we recognised in the week that was where opportunities were going to come from, regaining the ball.
And on a personal level, having started going for a long while, you must be pleased with how you got through the minutes you did get through.
Yeah, it's been a tough time for me. It's been difficult because I felt like I could offer something, and hopefully tonight sort of showed that as much as I can. I felt pretty happy with my game. Again, look, it's not all about me, and it's the result is difficult to take. But I felt fit. I felt like I probably could have done the whole game, but I think Matty was probably looking after me a touch. And obviously, it's my first game in such a long time, which isn't what I want. I'm ready when called upon, and hopefully it's a bit of a turning point for me. But leave that up to the manager.
And how tough has it been mentally to know that you have to go in training every day, Monday to Friday, to then not get the minutes and not get the game time that you want come a Saturday, and you've got to be like us and just spectate.
Yeah, it's been difficult. I mean, sort of use the analogy of like doing an assignment and then no one reading your work, and that's sort of where I've been. I've been working hard. I've been probably, the fittest, or one of the fittest, if not the fittest I've ever been. So that's been difficult, but also has helped me to come into tonight's game. And like I said, felt like I've been able to get through it. But yeah, mentally it's been tough. Not enjoyed my Saturdays at all. Can't say I've enjoyed watching the boys too much, because I feel like I can help if I want to be involved. So, but I have been over the last few weeks with Matt as the manager. So hopefully that continues, and hopefully the fans get to see a little bit more of me, and I'm ready to go.
And as a group, you kind of got to dust yourselves down and put that disappointment behind us, because football's relentless. Another game on Saturday, and an important one against a side just above us.
Yeah, it's a really important game. I mean, they seem to all be important at the moment, but I think when you're on a bit of a bad run, take a 1-0 off someone's rear end, and we just need to move on pretty quickly. We're going to have a big debrief on Thursday and go through some things, and I think the lads need to come together as a group and sort of show everyone what we can do, and get the lads together.
Brilliant.
An honest interview there for Matt, insightful, and also he touches on some personal points as well. And he's right on plenty of the points. We did have some good spells during the game, but perhaps we did show the young Irons a bit too much respect during the game. They come out as winners and they move on to the next round of the Cup. We move on to this weekend with our game against Crawley, a good opportunity to get back on winning ways and forget about last night, put it behind us. Tickets for that game are now on sale at the advance rate from Col U Tickets. Head across there and cheer on the lads at the weekend. It's now time for the launch of our November Goal of the Month competition. Some great strikes. Let's take a look at the ones that have made it to the final. Four great goals to choose from there. Head across to Col U Tickets to pick your favourite, and we'll announce the winner of the Goal of the Month competition for November in due course. On to the academy now, and before we catch up with young striker Khan Bennett in our feature interview, let's take a look at the upcoming fixtures for the academy and the youngsters. The under-21s will take on Leeds United in the Premier League Cup on Monday night. That's the 11th of December at Malden and Tiptree. Kickoff is at 7 p.m. Liam Bailey's side will be back at Park Drive, Malden and Tiptree, on Friday afternoon with Watford the visitors in the Professional Development League. It's the under-21s last game before Christmas, kicking off at 2 p.m. on Friday the 15th of December. And finally, the under-18s will be in action on Saturday the 16th of December. If you're not watching the first team at Wrexham, watch the youngsters at Malden and Tiptree with kick-off at 11 a.m. Tickets for all three games will be available on the gate, and they are priced at £5 for adults and £3 for concessions. All of these fixtures and more can be found on the club's website. Just head across to the academy pages to see what's coming up. As we mentioned, we've been catching up with Carl Bennett. The young striker has 6 league goals from the U's 11 games so far, putting him just outside the top 10 for the top scorers in the Professional Development League. He's been speaking about his journey into football and the season so far, and this is what he had to say.
So we're here with Carl Bennett chatting about his footballing career so far. Carl, if you wouldn't mind telling us, how did you get into football in the first place?
To be honest, I got into football at a very young age, obviously watching dads, uncles and people in my family, like everyone in my family is basically football crazy, so I was hardly ever going to grow up playing any other sport. So I got into it very, very quickly and actually found that I fell in love with it as well very, very quickly.
And in terms of career progression, when did you join Colchester and what did you do beforehand as well?
Yeah, to be fair, in terms of the lads at the moment, I've probably been here maybe the least. I know there's a few lads that have been here for over 10 years, but I signed a little over 2 years ago now. Signed as a second year scholar, but so obviously I didn't do my scholarship anywhere else, so that was spent at grassroots. Come in under 18 season, sort of hit the ground running straight away, to be fair, considering it was my first time playing that proper academy football at a professional level. So enjoyed that first season and obviously at the end of it earned my debut and earned my next professional contract, which was the most important thing.
What was the feeling like for you signing that contract? How did you feel afterwards?
Yeah, obviously I was overwhelmed to be in the environment again, the professional environment. Obviously, especially being as that was one of the main things that you work to as a young kid as well, and knowing that you've got a contract to take you the next 1 or 2 years, because a lot of people are stuck with that feeling of uncertainty where they've got to try and find a new club. So I'm glad I kind of knew I had my future sorted and panned out.
And just going back to your youth career a little bit, what did you do before you joined Colchester, for anyone who doesn't know?
To be fair, as I said, I had a 2-year spell when I was quite young, about 9 or 10 years old at Arsenal. But other than that, I actually suffered quite a serious knee injury. So that kind of I found myself stuck in grassroots for a little while, and I actually ended up joining a college program when I was about 18 or 17, 18, which, to be fair, I can't fault them enough. They actually helped me massively, and I actually ended up playing a showcase game against Colchester, which in the end actually ended up me getting signed. So yeah. And
obviously your career progression shows a lot of persistence and mental strength as well. How do you sort of deal with that? How do you motivate yourself to keep going to achieve the highest aims that you set out for yourself?
To be completely honest, I can only really give props to my family. Obviously, all the long nights, the rainy days where they were taking me to and from football, and obviously, especially like having the love of the game. It was never, as I said, it was never going to be any other sport. And yeah, it's kind of just to pay gratitude to them for all the hard work that they put into my career.
And as you've said, since joining Colchester, you've hit the ground running quite well. What's your sort of aspirations for the future? What will you try to achieve in your career at the club?
Yeah. In terms of the short term, to be fair, I've set myself individual targets of hitting a certain amount of goals and assists, obviously being an attacker in the team. But obviously for the long term, the obvious ones is earning a new contract and definitely being in and around the first team, because I was well aware when joining this club that it is a club that gives a lot of opportunities to young players, and I've seen it firsthand. So I feel like that's even more of a of an aspiration to push and to do well at this club. So
yeah, and in order for that to happen, in order for you to get a permanent place in the first team, what do you think you need to work on? Is there anything you need to improve in your game that will land you that place in soon?
Yeah, I think the only thing that stands out me watching the game and even when training, it is like exceptionally physical. So even if it's not me being so physical back, but in terms of being more clever, so knowing when to use my body, knowing when to vacate the space or to swap with someone, for example. So yeah, I think it's more being quite clever, because I know I'm probably not built the biggest in terms of a lot of the players that I come up against in League Two, but it's about being more clever about it and using your football IQ. So.
And if someone asks you, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years, what's your sort of dream answer? Where do you want to be?
Obviously, hopefully, I'd want to be a regular in this team here, or if not playing at a higher level, because I feel like obviously everyone's dream is to get that big move. If I was going to say in the next 5 years, the ideal would be to be playing in the Prem, to be playing on live TV, but I just don't know how things will pan out.
A good positive interview from the young man there. He's already made his first team debut on the last day of the 21-22 season against Hartlepool. So hopefully there's plenty more from him to come. That's pretty much it, and all we've got time for today on the midweek show. I'll be back on Saturday for the pre-match show ahead of the Crawley game. You can get your tickets once again at the advanced rate, and also on the day as well. You can buy your tickets. Have a great week, whatever you're up to. Until next time, it's goodbye for now.